Hello, everybody. Welcome to game number 2 on opening day 1982 Strat-O-Matic. Just finished playing the Reds and the Cubs from opening day in the National League. And now the other game that was also played on opening day, April the 5th, 1982, was from the American League. That being the Kansas City Royals visiting the Baltimore Orioles. No pomp and circumstance on this one. Don't have any videos or any intros to present. So just kind of have to go off what I can do. Let's look at the starting lineups for both teams. First, the starting pitchers. It'll be two Dennises going at it. Dennis Leonard and Dennis Martinez for the respective teams. Let's look at the starting lineup. First for the Royals, it is Willie Wilson leading things off in left field. John Wathan, the catcher, bats second. George Brett hits third. Willie Mays Aikens at first will bat cleanup. Amos Otis in center. Hal McRae, the DH. Jerry Martin in right. Frank White at second. And UL Washington at short. For the Orioles, Al Bumbry in center. Rick Dempsey catching. Disco Dan Ford in right. Ken Singleton, the DH. Eddie Murray at first. Cal Ripken at third. Gary Renicky in left. Len Cicada, the shortstop. And Rich Dower is at second base. Let's look at the bench players and bullpens for each team so you know who I have available. And I went to the computer to see who the opening day rosters were. There are a couple of marginal players I don't have cards for, which is one of the things that you have to deal with Strat-O-Matic. But I think I got enough to get by. On the bench for the Royals, they have two right-handers. They have Greg Pryor and Lee May. Two left-handers, Tom Poquette and Jamie Quirk. So I've got four pinch hitters off the bench, or to make defensive substitutions or whatnot. Only four relievers I have available, but you got to remember this is 82. They had Dennis Leonard and Dennis Martinez are probably going to pitch, if they're effective, probably 7 innings at least. In fact, the fatigue rating on both of them is 7, so they probably won't be using 5 or 6 pitchers like they do today. But in the bullpen, two lefties, Bud Black and Grant Jackson, two righties, David Frost and Dan Quisenberry. So those are the extra players for the Royals. The Orioles have quite a few hitters that I have cards for, and only a couple of bullpen guys. The lefties off the bench for the Orioles, they have a few. They have 3, as a matter of fact. First one is John Lowenstein, then Jim Dwyer, and then a backup catcher, Joe Nolan. Right-handers, Floyd Rayford, Bob Bonner, Benny Ayala, and actually an extra left-hander I forgot about, Terry Crowley. So they have 7 guys off the bench they could bring in to pinch hit if need be. But the bullpen's a little short. They only have 4 relievers, 2 lefties and 2 righties. They have Jim Palmer and Sammy Stewart from the right side, Ross Grimsley, and Tippy Martinez from the left side. So now you see who I have available. So if I didn't show you the players there, they're not available for me to use. The Orioles did have Don Stanhouse on their roster at this point, but he's not carded, so can't use him. So if you're not there, he can't be used. All right, so we're just going to go with it. And hopefully now, since I played that first game, hopefully I'm a little bit better now at the Super Advanced. And I'm not a little shaky. Hopefully I wasn't too shaky on the first one. And since the Orioles are playing, we got the Orioles dice out there with the orange and the black, and then the blue D20 for the Kansas City Royals. So both teams hopefully can be represented fairly well. We are playing Super Advanced, so ballpark effects from Memorial Stadium. Singles are 1 to 5 for both lefties and righties. Home runs, lefties get a big advantage. 1 to 16 for the lefties, only 1 to 4 for right-handers. So that's something to keep in mind. And we are ready to go, I do believe. I'll do a double check here on making sure everything can be seen. Let's get these extra players off the camera so it won't be distracting. Let's see. I think that pretty much everything fits. Okay, we are ready to go. Second game from opening day. The next game on the schedule will be the first Saturday game of the week. And that will be the Cleveland Indians hosting the Texas Rangers. So I believe it's Rick Waits against Charlie Huff, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be the first. That'll be on April the 10th. This is April the 5th. And I'll have the computer sim everything from April 6th through April 9th to get ready for that. All right, so Willie Wilson Leading us off here against Dennis Martinez. 6'5", Wilson switch hitter batting left. 6'5" is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Len Sakata. He's a 4 E34. 4 and a 12. Let's see if he can get to that. 4 and a 12. It's a G3, so he does get to it. That's a 9. E34 and a 9. There is no 9, so Sakata makes the play. Tough chance, but he was able to get to it, and Willie Wilson is retired. And now that I think everything is in place, I'll have a seat and get this game going. As the first out is completed, I'll bring up catcher John Wathan. 6'9" against a right-hander, and that's a tough spot for Dennis Martinez. That 6'9" is a bad spot. 1 to 7 is a triple, 8 to 20 is a single. That's an 11, so it will be a single for John Wathan. Although if he had tripled, he had 3 triples on the season, so he's not immune to triples by any means. Let's see. John Wathan actually is a very good base stealer, even for a catcher. Stole 36 bases, only caught 9 times, so he's definitely looking to get a jump. His jump rating, he needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, or 12 to get the jump. That's a 3, so he gets the jump. And his jump starts at a 19. And then we figure in pitcher hold and catcher throwing. Dennis Martinez is a 7 hold rating. Dempsey's a -3 for an aggregate of +4. So we add 4 to this number. That's a 23. You take 2 away for being held, makes him a 21. So the way I play it is you can't be completely safe all the time. So a 20, he's going to be out. Anything else, he's going to make it. And he's going to make it. Stolen base. So John Wathan steals the base as Dennis Martinez is not good at holding on the runners. So that'll bring up George Brett now with a runner at second and 1 out. Brett, nothing on the havoc. Get a 6-5 against the lefty. That's a ground ball shortstop X. Wathan was being held, so the shortstop is the one holding the runner, so Sakata will drop from a 4 to a 5 on his shortstop X. That's not very good if you're the Orioles. It's a 15. They might catch a break. A 5 and a 15 is a G3, so that will advance the runner. 11 on an E34 is going to be all right, but it is going to be advancing the runner. It's a 6-3 ground out, but the runner will advance. Wathan will go to third base. And had he been a 4 instead of a 5, he would not have advanced. But since they were holding the runner on, it took some range away from Sakata, so he had to range to get it and didn't have time to throw to third, so Wathan took advantage of it. 2 down, runner at third for Willie Mays Aikens. Nothing on the havoc. Here's Martinez to Aikens. 2-8, and that's a ground ball to second base. Infield was not in, so it's going to be a regular out as Rich Dower puts it away, and Dennis Martinez pitches out of trouble here in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Orioles coming to bat as the Royals get nothing. Dennis Leonard is on the mound for the Royals. He'll be facing Al Bumry to lead it off. A 4-7, and that's going to be a leadoff walk. Leadoff walk to Al Bumry. He's still got a little bit of wheels on him at his old age here in 82. He stole 10 bases, got caught 5 times. Leonard is a +2 for his hold rating. Wathan's a -1 to be a +1 aggregate. So that would end up being a -1 from this. It would be a 14 if he gets the jump, 1 to 14. So he's going to try to get the jump. Needs a 6 or a 7 to get the jump. And it's a 6, he gets the jump. So it's a 1 to 14 for Al Bumry. And he's caught stealing. How about that? Caught him. As Frank White applies the tag. So Bumry getting a mean look over there from Earl Weaver. Earl Weaver, the 3-run homer, is not really big on stealing bases, but Bumry thought he could make it. And Weaver says, think again. Here's Rick Dempsey. 3-6 for Dempsey. It's a pop out to short. UL Washington adjusts the toothpick, makes the catch. 2 down. For Disco Dan, 2-3, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. Willie Mays Aikens will take it to the bag himself, and it's After the caught stealing, it's a quick 1-2-3 inning at the end of one. No score from Memorial Stadium here in Baltimore. 1982 is we're 10 years away from Camden Yards. That didn't come along until 92. Here's AO, Amos Otis to lead it off. Otis, my man. 6-11, that's a fly ball to left field. The dot there, of course, is for being fatigued, but in the second inning, that's not going to happen. So AO is out of there. One away, and here's the DH, Hal McRae. 4-7, and that's a 1-19 single, so that's a 16. That'll be a base hit. McRae couldn't run very well or field very well, but could sure hit in 1982. He was a .308 hitter, and he led the league, I believe, with 46 doubles. Or if he didn't lead the league, he's very close to leading the league. That'll bring up Jerry Martin, and of course, McRae is not going to try to go anywhere, but we'll roll for the havoc and nothing happening. Here's Martin. 1-5, and that's more trouble for the Orioles. 1's a double, 2-20's a single. That's a 2, so it's a single 2 stars. And Hal McRae will take it over to third base. Runners are at the corners with 1 away. Martin not a threat to steal either. Now, for the Orioles, do you play for the double play or do you play in? I think you're going to play for the double play. Try to get the 2 outs. Nothing on the havoc. Frank White, Martinez to White. That's a 4-10, and that's a ballpark single check. A ballpark single check. I'm sorry, I should be over here. Still going to be 4 ballpark single check. 1-5, that's a 17, so that fails, which means then it's a line out to second, so the runners have to hold. So there's 2 down now for UL Washington. It's up to UL to bring home the run. Nothing on the havoc. Here's Martinez to Washington. 5-8 against the switch hitter batting left. That's a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. And Dennis Martinez pitches out of it. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. And Martinez breathes a sigh of relief. Dennis Leonard will lead it off, and he'll be facing Ken Singleton, the DH. He can still stroke it in 82. 14 homers, hit .251. Obviously on the downside of his career, but could still get some hits. Leonard, 4-6 against the lefty. That's a fly ball to left field. Put away out there by the left fielder, Willie Wilson. 1 away for Eddie Murray. Switch hitting power hitter just coming into his own in 82. He's had a few good years, but this is where he really was picking it up. 82, 83. He was really hitting the ball well in the early 80s. Leonard, 4-9, and that's a 1-11 is a home run check. 12-20 is a double. That's a 12. That'll be a double. Good thing, because that would have been a home run. So Eddie Murray just missed the home run hitting off the top of the wall, but it will be a stand-up double for Eddie Murray. And when they say he's a stand-up kind of guy, not only does he talk about his character, but he talks about how he crushes the ball and ends up being able to just stand up coming into the base. So 1 out, and here is Cal Ripken playing third base in this game on opening day. Dennis Leonard, 1-8, and that's a pop out to first base. So Ripken pops it straight up to shoot. Willie Mays Aikens makes the catch in front of the plate, calling off Wathan for out number 2. And that brings up Gary Renicky. Murray still at second base. Nothing on the havoc. Leonard to Renicky. 4-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. UL Washington's a 2E32. 2-11, he'll get to that. E32 and a 7 is no problem. So it's a good play. And the Orioles, despite the 1-out double from Eddie Murray, come up empty. And we go to the third, no score from Memorial Stadium. Willie Wilson. And it was a long time ago, so I don't really remember. It was back in like 1986, I think, was the last time I went to a game at Memorial Stadium against the Royals. Saw Rick Dempsey hit a couple home runs. I think off Charlie Lebrand, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, that was back in 1986. So you're talking 35 years ago. So my memory's not the greatest, but I do remember going to Memorial Stadium. I've been to Camden Yards a few times, but I remember going to Memorial Stadium at least once or twice. Last time was in 86. Oh, I'm sorry, 87 was the last game I went there against the Yankees. That's where I caught my foul ball off of Gary Ward. But that was an 87. All right, so Dennis Martinez facing Willie Wilson. 6-2. That's a strikeout against the left-hander. So Wilson down on strikes. One away for Johnny Wathan. Single, stole a base, but was stranded at third base. 1-3, and that's a walk. So Wathan once again will be looking to steal. It's a 1-19. We've already figured it out. If he gets the jump, he's got to get the jump first. 2 through 5, 11 or 12 to get the jump. 6, he does not get the jump. Now, he could still try to steal with a 14, but then you'd be -4, makes that a 10. But then you had the +4 to make it a 14. I think they're going to hold Wathan there. Not going to let him steal without a good jump. All right, that'll bring up George Brett. 4-9, and that's a single to center field for Brett. Single to center. Now, Bumry's got a +2 arm, so Wathan runs at a 14. He was being held, makes him a 13. The +2 makes it a 15 if they wanted to try. So they're going to try to send him 1-15. And do they throw through? Well, I'm not going to worry about the cut and the throw. I'm just going to try for it. 1-15. And he's in there. So Wathan's at third. Runners are at the corners with only one out. And that brings up Willie Aikens. Brett's not going to go anywhere. They don't want to run themselves out of an inning. Nothing on the Havoc. Martinez to Aikens. Infield again at double play depth because Aikens does hit to some double plays. 6-7. That is a ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Dower. He's a 2E10. Could be a double play right here. 2 and an 11 on a second baseman. A 2 and an 11 is a G1. That would be a double play as long as there's no error. That's a 6. Dower is an E10. And there is no 6, so it is a double play. 4-6-3, and Dennis Martinez pitches out of it again. How do you like that? So Earl Weaver going through some Chesterfields over there with the Dennis Martinez outing. But so far unscathed. Here's Len Sakata, the shortstop. 5-10 against Dennis Leonard. That's a 1 for a single. Anything else, he lines it to third. And George Brett makes the stag. 1 down. That brings up Rich Dower, second baseman. Leonard, 1-7 on Dower's card is a fly to center. That's 2 down. So 2 away. And that's going to send us to the top of the order and Al Bumry. That's a 5-6. 5-6 is a single to left field. So Al Bumry, a 2-out single. He has reached base twice. Earl Weaver has put up the stop sign. Don't you dare think about going anywhere. You stay right where you are. Here's Rick Dempsey. Roll for the Havoc. Nothing happening. Leonard to Dempsey. 1-11. And that's a ballpark single. Has to be a 1-5. That's a 13. So he's going to line it to short. And the inning's over. So we go to the 4th inning here at Memorial Stadium with no score. And AO, Amos Otis. Otis, my man, will lead things off for the Royals. 4-7, and that's a 1-19 single, so that's a base hit for AO. Amos Otis. He might be looking to get a jump, possibly. Let's see. It would be a 15. If he gets a jump, it would be a 13 with the -2, but then you got a +4, so that would be a 17. So he's going to try to get the jump. It would be a 4 through 6 to get the jump. He does not get the jump, so he's not going to go anywhere. So he will stay put as Martinez uncharacteristically holding the runner on. McRae, 2-11. 2-11 is a ballpark home run chance for McRae. 1-4 is the home run chance with the ballpark effects. That's a 20, so it's simply going to be a fly to left. And there's 1 away. So 1 down, and again, playing the ballpark effects cost the home run, as it did in the first game. That'll bring up Jerry Martin. Nothing happening. Martinez to Martin, 3-8. And that's a pop out to third base. There's a clutch symbol, but there's not 2 outs and the runner's not in scoring position. So the pop to third will be the call. 2 down for Frank White. And this Martinez, nothing there. 3-6 for Frank White, and he struck him out. So pitcher's duel here at Memorial Stadium. No scores. We go to the bottom of the 4th. And it'll be Disco Dan dancing to the plate. Disco Dan grounded out to Akins his first time up. 5-9. 5-9 is a strikeout. So Dennis Leonard gets the K. 1 away for the DH Ken Singleton. Only 2 hits in the game for the Orioles and about 5 hits for the Royals, I think. Here's Singleton. 3-4. And that's a ground ball to short. UL Washington is there. 2 down. For Eddie Murray, he doubled his first time up, but was stranded. Oh, Suadice. Let's re-roll that. 1-3 for Eddie Murray is a ground ball to second. Frank White is there. Innings over. So we go to the 5th. Still goose eggs on the board. Who needs the bullpens when you got starting pitchers like this? Although Martinez is a little shaky, admittedly. Here's UL Washington. 3-9 for UL, and he strikes out. So UL is out of there. Spits out his toothpick, gets another one. Here's Willie Wilson. 6-3. That's a fly ball right field X. Right fielder Disco Dan's a 4. Not very good range. 4 and a 2. That's going to be extra bases. 4 and a 2 ends up being a double. And let's check to make sure it's an error. 9, and he's an error rating of 11. There is no error, but it will be a double. So Willie Wilson strokes a double to right field. He's in scoring position immediately with 1 out for John Wathan. They will have to hold Wilson on. Hold him tight at second base. Martinez to Wathan. 6-6. Pops him up to short. That was a big out because the runner could not advance. 2 down. And now it's all up to George Brett. First base is open if they'd rather pitch to Akins. Akins, 281 hitter, hit 17 home runs. George Brett, 301 hitter, hit 21 home runs. Do you want to pitch around Brett? Do you want to intentionally walk Brett? They're going to go after Brett. They're not going to. Earl Weaver says pitch to him. Martinez, 5-7. Struck him out, and that's why they pitched to him. He had confidence in his pitcher. Martinez, after a rough first couple innings, is settled in now. And we go to the bottom of the 5th, still goose eggs. And a young, very young, Cal Ripken will lead things off for the Orioles. Ripken pops to first his first time up. Had a very young Ryan Sandberg in the first game of the opening day doubleheader. And now we got a very young Cal Ripken. Leonard, 3-9 to Ripken, struck him out. 1 down, and that's going to send us to Gary Renicky. Leonard, 3-11, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-5, but that's an 11, so he's going to end up lining it to short. 2 down for the shortstop, Lenny Sakata. 3-9 for Sakata, and that's a base hit. 2-out single for Len Sakata. He's not really, well, after the Bumry got thrown out, he says, if Bumry gets thrown out, you're not going to run. So Earl Weaver's going to hold him fast. Here's Rich Dower. Nothing on the Havoc. 5-7. And that's a ground ball to third. 5-4 fielder's choice as Brett goes the short way. We go to the 6th. No score here at Memorial Stadium. Both pitchers have fatigues of 7. But the way they're pitching, they might go all 9. You never know. Here's Willie Akins to lead it off. Oops, dropped the 1 die there. Already had a complete game in the first game of the doubleheader with Mario Soto pitching a complete game. So maybe one of these two can do the same thing. Willie Akins is 0 for 2. 4-3, and that's a ground ball to the pitcher X. Dennis Martinez is a 2E6. 2E6. 2 and a 9, he'll get to that. Check the E6. Let's take a look here. E6, and that is a 13. E6, and there is a 13 right here. E6 for the pitcher. A 13 is a 1 base error. Unbelievable. A 1 base error. So Dennis Martinez fumbles it, and that allows Akins to reach. Leadoff man is aboard. Earl Weaver puffs another Chesterfield, upset with Mr. Martinez. He's not yet El Presidente. That will come later when he's with Cleveland and Montreal. But right here, he is not El Presidente. Ayo, Amos Otis, 211. Ground ball first base B. Murray fields it, will throw to Strat-O for the force, but no way to get Otis on the return throw. So Otis stays put. He might try to get a jump again. Couldn't get it last time, but I think he's going to try this time. 4 through 6 to get the jump. Can't do it. So, again, Dennis Martinez holding him close. Not letting him get that jump. Here's the DH, Hal McRae. 4-9, and that's trouble for Martinez. That's a 2, so that's a double. 1 to 3 is a double, but it's 2 stars, so Otis has to stop at third base. He cannot advance. And that puts runners at second and third with 1 out. And Earl Weaver has instructed the infield to play in for Jerry Martin's at bat. So they don't want to give up a cheap run. Runs are at a premium in this game. So Martinez to Martin. Infield is in. 2-6 for Martin. Struck him out. Big strikeout there for Martinez. 2 down for Frank White. Now the infield can go back to normal. Martinez has 1 more obstacle to get through, and that's Frank White. 2-4. Ballpark single, 1 to 5, but that's a 16, so he lines it to short, and Martinez pitches around it. And Earl Weaver may go through might go through 2 packs of the Chesterfields the way Martinez is pitching. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, no score. Top of the order, Al Bumry to lead it off. Bumry has reached base twice, walking a single, was caught stealing. 1-4, and he's going to ground to Frank White for out number 1. And that's going to take us to Rick Dempsey. 1-4 again, and that is a ground ball to second again. Frank White getting busy over there. 2 quick outs. Here's Disco Dan, 0 for 2. 4-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Washington, a 2 E32. 2 and 10, he'll get to that. E32, and that is an 11. E32 and an 11. There is no 11. It's a good play. Innings over. So we go to the 7th, no score, and this is now the fatigue inning for both pitchers are coming up here in the 7th. So I have to keep an eye on that. The bullpens could be called upon. You never know. Here's UL Washington. He's 0 for 2. 6-8, switch hitter. 6-8, ground ball to first. Boy, 6-9 would have been trouble, but 6-8 is good all day long for Dennis Martinez as Murray makes the play. 1 down, top of the order, Willie Wilson. Want to keep him off the bases if you're the Orioles. He doubled his last time up. Whoops, Suadites. Let's roll again. 2-7. 2-7 is a strikeout. Willie Wilson out on strikes. 2 down for John Wathen. Wathen is singled, walked, and popped to short. Also stole a base. 5-6. That's a ground ball to short. Cicada is there. Innings over. 7th inning stretch. 7th inning stretch. And I'm not sure what different teams play during 7th inning stretch. I think a lot of them play, I'm pretty sure Boston plays either Sweet Caroline or whatever. But I remember back in the early days of the Orioles, at least when I say early days, I'm in the 80s. They played John Denver's Thank God I'm a Country Boy in the 7th inning. So won't do that here because that would result in a strike against me for copyright. So I'm not going to do that. But you can imagine John Denver singing Thank God I'm a Country Boy. All right, so it is Ken Singleton, the DH. 0 for 2 against Leonard. 5-6, he's a switch hitter batting left. 5-6 is a base hit. So that's first ding on Leonard before he gets tired. That brings up Eddie Murray. Now they could pinch run for Singleton, but I think it might be a little early for that because they may need him if it goes longer. So I'm going to keep Singleton in the game as the runner. Roll for the Havoc. Nothing happening. Here's Eddie Murray. 5'11", switch hitter batting left. 5'11" is a ballpark single check. That's a 1. So that's a base hit. And those are 1-star advancements, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive they are 1-star, not 2-star. But I will double check it because I don't want to be wrong. Where'd it go? Ballpark effects. Where'd you run off on me? Yep, single 1-star. So puts runners at first and second. Singleton has to hold at second base. Not a lot of speed on the bases. Cal Ripken is up. He is not much of a bunter. This would be a perfect time for a bunt, but he's really not a good bunter, so they're going to have to swing away. Nothing on the Havoc. Ripken 0 for 2. 3-6, and he's going to walk, and that's going to load the bases, and now Dennis Leonard is tired. He's given up the 3 base runners that will make him tired. For Gary Renicky. Now, if we get a dot result on Dennis Leonard, he will give up a hit versus getting an out. Bullpen for the Royals is loosening. You do have the left-hander down there. And the left-hander that's loosening is Grant Jackson. But they really like to keep Dennis Leonard in there if they can. Bases are loaded. They're going to have to play the infield in because they just don't know if they can score any runs in this game. You don't want to give up a cheap run here. But by playing the in, you could give up a big inning as well. But I think they're going to have to do it. So Dennis Leonard, first will roll for Havoc. Nothing happening. Leonard to Renicky. Infield is in. 5-12. Ground ball first base X. That is Akins. Akins is a 4. That could be trouble right there. 4 and an 8. That's suspect. Check the chart. 4 and an 8 is a G3 with a pound sign saying if you play the infield in, it's a single 2 stars. So there you go. You pay the price for paying the infield in. And they could have given a run and gotten an out, but instead it's a 2-run single for Gary Renicky. And Ripken will take third. Runners are at the corners with still nobody out. And Len Cicada, the batter, and that's going to be it for Dennis Leonard. He just kind of lost it all at one time. And they will actually go to a right-hander out of the pen. It will not be Grant Jackson because the Orioles have righties coming up. It will be Dave Frost, a right-hander. Part-time starter, part-time reliever. But he is going to be coming in to this ball game to try to get out of this. So Frost, actually, no, what? It's not going to be Frost. They're going to bring in Quisenberry. They want to get out of this jam right now, and they need somebody that's more used to coming out of the bullpen. So it's unconventional, but they got to go for it. Quisenberry. And let's see how they want to play this. Infield is going to have to probably play in again. I would think they've already given up 2 runs. They can't afford any more. Quisenberry, the Havoc roll. That's a 1. Chance for a wild pitch, which is only a 1. So no wild pitch. Cicada is up with the infield in. 4-11. 4-11 is a split chance. 1-7 is a single. 8-20 is a line out. That's a 16. It's a line out to short. So everybody stands pat, 1 down. So that was a big out for Quisenberry to get. Now a double play gets him out of the inning. And let's see. Rich Dower does hit in a few double plays. So they're going to play. They're going to play now for the double play. They're going to play back for the double play. Quisenberry, 2-7, and that's a good thing they did play back because that plus means if they were playing in, it would have been a base hit. Instead, it's a ground ball to second, and the inning's over. How do you like that? 4, 6, 3, double play, and I don't think. I mean, I know the runner at first, Renicky, was he even being held? I don't even think he was being. No, he was not even being held. So I don't think the plus affects the hold. I think it affects the playing the infield in. So that double play is going to hold. 2 runs come in, and we could close the book on Leonard now. He goes 6 1/3, and he's going to give up. Actually, he goes 6. He goes, yeah, because he only goes 6 because Quisenberry had to get all 3 outs. So he actually is going to go 6 innings. And he's going to give up the 2 runs, which were earned. He's going to walk 1, 2. So he ends up walking 2. He's going to strike out, not that many. 1, 2, just 2 strikeouts. Hits allowed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hits allowed. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 7th, or top of the 7th, top of the 8th, rather. I'll get my innings straight in a minute. Top of the 8th, Dennis Martinez back out. He did not give up anything in the 7th, so he's still good to go as far as fatigue goes. It's just a matter of whether or not Earl wants to stick with him or they want to go to the bullpen. They do have Tippy Martinez, their closer, and back then, not uncommon to have your closer go 2 innings. They also have Sammy Stewart. So let's see how they want to play this. With George, Brett, Akins, and Otis coming up, they're going to pull Dennis Martinez. So Martinez is going to go 7 innings. He's not going to go any runs. Let's check his hits allowed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits. Walks and strikeouts. 1 walk. That's all I see is 1 walk. Strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strikeouts. So Dennis Martinez will be replaced by Tippy Martinez, the other Martinez. He will be coming on to try to get the save. Wrong Martinez. He will be coming on to try to get the save in the 82 season. Tippy Martinez was 8-8 with a 3.41 ERA and 16 saves. He threw 95 innings. So certainly his fatigue there in relief is pretty good. So as far as being fatigued goes. And he's going to face the left-handers Brett, Akins, and then a right-hander Otis. Now Akins actually hits pretty decent against lefties, so I think we'll keep him in there. I have to look at the bench for the Royals. They do have a couple of righties. They do have Lee May as a very good hitter. And you know what? They're going to pinch hit for Willie Akins with Lee May since they're down. So Lee May is going to come on and pinch hit for Willie Akins, and he'll stay in the game to play first base. He's a 4.15, so they're not losing a whole lot defensively. Running that at 8. So Lee May will pinch hit, but first things first is George Brett and then Lee May. Facing Tippy Martinez, 2-0 Orioles, top of the 8th from Memorial Stadium. 6-2, lefty on lefty. That's a fly ball left field. Renicky is the left fielder. He's a 2E5. 2 and a 7 should be okay. 2 and a 7 is an F2. That's an 8, and he's an E5. That's not a problem. So nice play for Renicky. 1 down. Brett is retired, and now the pinch hitter Lee May is on. Lee May. Martinez, 3-2 to May. And he fouls out to the third baseman, Ripken. Wow. A lot of good hits there in column 3 on the left side, but he found the number 2, which caused him to foul out to Ripken. 2 down for A.O. Amos Otis. 3-11, and that's a ballpark single check. That's a 9, but it's only a 1-5, so it will be a liner to short. And Tippy Martinez pitches a scoreless 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Quisenberry's going to stay in there. And he'll be facing Bumbry, Dempsey, and Ford to try to keep the score at 2-0. 5-5, and that's a leadoff single. Leadoff single from Bumbry. And Weaver says you're not going anywhere either. You're going to stay put. Dempsey, the batter, he's a B bunter. They're going to try to sacrifice. He becomes a C bunter. See what happens. C bunter and an 8. So we go to this super advanced bunt chart. C bunter and an 8 is a good sacrifice. The white die is a 6, which means it went to the third baseman, Brett. So it's going to be a good sacrifice. Brett will throw to Frank White covering first, and Bumry will take second. So sacrifice completed. Earl doesn't bunt much, but felt like that was the time to do it right there. Here's Disco Dan. And Disco Dan's going to be pulled back. They're going to go to a pinch hitter. Is Weaver. He's going to go to somebody's left. He's got a bunch of lefties on the bench. And one of them he's going to go to right now is John Let It Be Lowenstein. And Lowenstein will stay in the game to play right field. So Lowenstein going to pinch hit, and he will stay in the game to play right field. He is a 3, a 0, and a +1 arm. So John Lowenstein is up with the runner at second and 1 out. Nothing on the Havoc for Quisenberry. Quisenberry to Lowenstein. 110, and that's a ballpark home run chance. 1-16 for a lefty. That's a 5. It is gone. John Let It Be Lowenstein just crushes a 2-run homer, pinch hit style. Earl Weaver loves that. Loves using this bench and loves the home run. It wasn't a 3-run homer. It was a 2-run homer. It's now 4-0, and that's going to be it for Quisenberry. He's going to come out. No sense dogging him the rest of the game. So Quisenberry is going to go in an inning and a third, and he's going to give up 2 runs on 2 hits and didn't walk or strike anybody out. And the new pitcher coming on will be left-hander Grant Jackson, if you're nasty. So Grant Jackson is on. He will face a couple of switch hitters, Singleton and Murray. 6-4 against the right-handed hitter. It's a ground ball third base X. That's Brett. Brett is a 2 E21. 2 and a 7 is good. E21 and a 12. E21 and a 12 for third base is a good play. 11 would have been an error, but not a 12. So 2 down, and that brings up Eddie Murray. Jackson to Murray. 6-4, the exact same roll. We did it again. Let's try it again for Brett. 18 is good all day long, but that's the 11, and that I just said it was an error, and it sure is. So George Brett boots it, and now an error on each team. A 2-out error there on Brett brings up Cal Ripken. Roll for anything Havoc-wise, nothing happening. Ripken, Jackson to Ripken. 6-6, and that's a walk. So that's going to put 2 on with 2 down for Gary Renicky. Renicky, Jackson trying to get out of the rest of this inning. Nothing on the Havoc. Jackson 1-8 against a lefty. It's a 1-2 single, but that's a 14. So he will line it to short to end the inning. But damage done, the 2-run homer. Pinch hit style home run from John Lowenstein. And we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Royals against Tippy Martinez, looking to save it. Get a 2-inning save. He'll be facing McCray, Martin, and White. And on the bench for the Royals, right-handed wise, all they have as a right-hander is Greg Pryor. So I think you're going to stick with who you have on your field already. So top of the 9th we go. Al McCray, 1-7. That's a fly to center. 1 down. And did I bump something? Let me double check here and make sure I didn't bump something because I'm missing some of the score sheet, it looks like. I think. Looks like I am. Somehow this thing got out of whack. Well, hopefully you can see the score sheet. Looked like it was kind of crooked there or something. I don't know what's going on with that, but whatever. 1 down, and here is Jerry Martin. Tippy Martinez to Martin, 3-7 against a left-handed pitcher. It's a ground ball to first. Murray takes it to the bag himself. And could we have, well, it'll be the first shutout. First game was 2-1. This is 4-0. And it's up to Frank White to keep it going. 2-7, and that's all these hits in column 2, and he found a ground ball to short. Sakata has it, throws to Murray. The ball game is over. 4-0 your final. Win to Dennis Martinez. The loss to Leonard. The save to Tippy Martinez. 4-0 Orioles. For Grant Jackson, he pitched Let's see, what did he do? He pitched 2/3 of an inning, and he gave up a walk, nothing else. So 8 hits total for the Orioles, 4, 8, and 1 for the Orioles. Tippy Martinez in the 9th gave up nothing. So no runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Kansas City. So there is your final line score. Final line score. It is the Orioles winning 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. Kansas City, no runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Winning pitcher, Dennis Martinez. The loser, Leonard. And the save to Tippy Martinez. Home runs in the game. The only one was a pinch hit home run from John Lowenstein that put it out of reach. So Earl Weaver leaves happy. Keeps some of the Chesterfields in the carton. And that's opening day, 1982. Both games that were scheduled that day have now been played. And now we'll let the Strat computer sim until April the 10th on Saturday. When Saturday, April 10th, 1982, we travel to the Mistake by the Lake in Cleveland Municipal Stadium for the Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Indians on the Saturday game of the week. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.